Okay, so guys, this video is all about Knott's Scary Farm, Knott's Berry Farm's Halloween event. It's kind of what started everything from different haunts across the country and the world. So this is the Midsummer 2023 panel. I slimmed it down for you guys, but I was very fascinated. They announced some insane things. So enjoy the panel and I'll talk to you guys afterwards.
Looped all the way around, and it just keeps going. All right, time to head to the grand ballroom.
Oh, why doesn't every convention stage look like this?
Look how awesome the stage is.
Every theme park Halloween event, every street monster or slider can trace their roots back to where it all began. 50 years ago, Knott's Scary Farm in Buena Park, California.
Hello. Hi, everybody. Welcome. All the employees participated. The log ride was turned into Satan's Sawmill, and the Calico Mine ride was turned into the Haunted Mine. And those were like the main scare attractions in the early days of Knott's Scary Farm, packed with live actors terrorizing everybody. But then, of course, there was also the now defunct attraction named the Haunted Shack. Yes, yeah, we love the Haunted Shack. For those of you who don't know, that was an all-year-round walk-through attraction at Knott's Berry Farm, kind of like a mystery house, but they had live actors in the early days inside the Haunted Shack for the haunt. And then, of course, the first scare zone monsters on the planet were the Ghost Town Street Monsters. Yes. They were the Wild West stunt show personnel dressed as monsters to roam the streets and engage the guests. And, well, you know, in addition to that, they had these sideshows that lined the streets of Ghost Town, Fiesta Village, and the Roaring 20s, which is where the boardwalk is nowadays. And these were like carnival sideshows and illusions, and they repurposed things like the stunt show and the Medicine Man show, all kinds of live entertainment like bands and dancing and magicians. I mean, the event was covered with live entertainment. Every single store and employee participated and dressed up, from food services to merchandise to ticketing, ride operators, ushers, on and on and on. And within the buildings of Ghost Town, well, they were turned into the startling pecans with eerie lighting and sound effects and masks on the mannequins. And outside those buildings, well, the park decor was just off the hook. Ghost Town was shrouded with scare cloth, more eerie lighting and fog. And then, I mean, Knott's went all in. And by 1977, they introduced the first maze built solely for Knott's Scary Farm, named the 10 Chilling Chambers. The Chilling Chambers for short. And by the way, that was designed by a person named Rick Campbell, who was the same person who designed the entire Roaring 20s area of Knott's Berry Farm. So this was a big production. And that maze set a new standard for the event, because every single Knott's Scary Farm maze that came after can trace its roots back to the Chilling Chambers. And after Seymour hosted the first two haunts, other hosts got involved, people like Wolfman Jack, Weird Al Yankovic, and the longest running host in Knott's Scary Farm's history, Elvira, Mistress in the Dark. Yes, we love Elvira. Well, by the 1980s, the event grew with more and more monsters, things like sliders in the Ghost Town Scare Zone, and the monster looks were becoming more advanced and identifiable as Knott's Scary Farm monsters. And by the late 1980s, the event grew with more and more mazes to accommodate the massive swarms of crowds going to Knott's Scary Farm. These mazes had more identity with their names and early forms of storytelling, which paved the way to the powerhouse mazes of the 1990s. Classics like Lair of the Vampire, Dominion of the Dead, Nightmares, The Underground. Yes, classic mazes that really kind of established the high quality in maze design that we see today at the event. And in time, other scare zones were added aside from Ghost Town, like the Gauntlet, the Swamp, Carnival, Silver Bullet Mine Town, others like Necropolis. Now, all of a sudden, the entire event was covering the park to make way for groundbreaking mazes like the Carnival of Carnivorous Clowns in 3D, to classics like the Asylum, 13 Acts Murder Manor, Doll Factory, Trick or Treat, on and on and on. So many of these amazing mazes that really kind of raised the production value of these different attractions. And soon, interactivity was added with attractions like Trapped and the Skeleton Killings. Yes. And that led to other attractions like Infected and Bloodline. Yes, where the guests become active participants within these different attractions. And throughout the years, well, the show productions grew from things like The Hanging all the way to Puppet Up, from Zamora, yes, to The Misfit of Magic, Ed Alonso. And then, of course, theatricality was added to attractions like Paranormal Incorporated, The Hollow, Forsaken Lake, Origins, The Grimoire. And that, my dear friends, in a nutshell, brings us up to date.
It is awesome to be back here at Midsummer Scream. Well, you know, my first year going to it, and then of course I came back until I was lucky enough to actually be cast in a show at the Birdcage Theater. But I think what it does is that, you know, you get terrified, and in '86, all of the whole park was really, you know, the mazes and everything they were in the park, right? So you'd mentioned the Haunted Shack, that was a maze, and even the old gasoline alley cars, you know, were a maze.
This is a fun slide that's a behind-the-scenes slide of Ken Parks directing The Hanging way back in 2004 while we were filming Season of Screams, a documentary on Not Scary Farm.
For the 40th, you know, we had the a haunt museum, and you you had a book that was out, and you would sign the book, and so I'm here to say that that's going to happen again, and so there'll be more coming up in the panel, but there is now a 50th year edition of the history of Not Scary Farm, written by yours truly, with a foreword by Neil Patrick Harris.
This thing that we've been working on is something us as fans, we would want to see at the Not Scary Farm 50th anniversary. So we're happy to announce that we are creating and will be presenting a Not Scary Farm 50th anniversary Legacy Store and Museum. Yes.
Ken brought us in to help out with this experience, and we really truly approach it like we would do one of our maze attractions. So it's a really deep dive into scenic production. It's very high quality sets, a lot of scenic lighting, everything to really create this immersive experience. And as we're gonna see here, we're gonna take a couple nods from our old favorites. You know, we had a thing in production when I was working, speaking of when I was in props. We'd always take these pictures on the pumpkin stairs. It was like a really cool photo op. So we said, let's turn that into photo op for the guests.
Nods to various themes of Not Scary Farm's past throughout all of it.
Yeah, like with our maze approaches, I always like to think of them as an adventure that you're going through. So, yeah, this is the heart. This is the heart of the entire space.
Collector of Not Scary Farm merchandise. I'm guessing some of you are. Who's excited for some merchandise for the Not Scary Farm? Yes. The person behind that is our next guest, Carl Bush from Not Scary.
Oh, we love this. I am giving you not one, not two, 21 new shirts this year. Come on! Oh. We're doing a legacy collection. You're going to the legacy store. Here's your legacy collection. Okay, I did 50 pins! 50 pins! I gave you 100 pins from 100 years, you get 50! We're Scary Farm. I can't show you all the pieces, that's why they're all blocked off all really bad. I also made you a coffin pin, so you can basically put all your pins on it. And put it, and you can glow in the dark just like Maria does. It's a nice. I don't know what they're gonna look like, but it's up to you. Yeah, you two, you're all adults. You do what you want. So yes, we made yes, 50. Now they're all going to be. Okay, I'm going to tell you one thing only. Extremely limited. You see that pin, you want that pin, you buy that pin. I go through all those pin things. I don't want to hear it. You know, so the thing is, I'll pin trade with you, but you're not going to like it. Let's put it that way. Anyway, but the thing is, I also did a cockroach pin because but we also did all the logos. I did all the logos. I did all the main things. Of course, these are only 20 of the ones I can show you because we can't show you all that we did. Well, that's just the way it is, lady. Anyway, I made a But it's a great game. Look at that game. Oh, my mama would love it, but she's dead. Anyway, let's keep going. Why did you bring me there? We're doing this damn book. And you know what I did? I'm gonna do it. One of those pins is his book pin. Okay, so yes. Here we go. You know we love food in Knott's Berry Farm. I think Mr. Knott made something, I don't know, or the Boysen guy and he fell off the roof. Anyway, let's keep going. That's for Boysenberry Festival. I don't want to do any spoilers. Okay. Oh, look at that. Oh, you can drink that at night. And Maria did it with the black light in her office. It was really, well, she was smoking at the time. Anyway, let's keep going. Oh, don't turn on her. This is Long Beach, not Stanton. Come on. Anyway, come on. Okay, Maria has it right there. Lift it up, Maria. We did a crossbody bag, and that lantern. 100 iterations. You're walking around. We also made a collectible conductor, of course. Okay, tiki mug. From Tiki Farm, the crown jewel, San Luis Obispo, yes.
I did state that Seymour was a famous television horror host here in Southern California in the early 1970s, and his shows really consisted of... Hello? Okay, there you go. Okay. His shows consisted of like B-horror movies, and Seymour would periodically interrupt the film and crack jokes about how terrible the movies are. He would affectionately refer to his viewers, his fans, as fringies, because they were on the fringe of lunacy for liking such terrible, trashy movies. Well, to promote his TV show, he took it out on the road and performed it live at local movie theaters here in Southern California. And really the format would be the same as his TV show, but in front of a live audience. So there'd be a horror movie up on the big screen, and Seymour would be there live and in person cracking jokes. He took that concept to some local theme parks here in Southern California, but the venues were not ideal. For example, Magic Mountain with their open-air outdoor theater during a daytime event didn't really kind of lend itself to the eerie environment that matched Sinister Seymour. And so Larry Vincent's manager, a person named Gary Blair, was in the process of looking for a new and improved venue and contacted Knott's Berry Farm and said, I understand you have the John Wayne Theater, which is now the Walter Knott Theater, and it's environmentally controlled. It's got a movie projector. Can we have Seymour perform there? Well, Knott's Berry Farm loved the idea and said, wait a minute. We'll build a Halloween event around Seymour, and that was the birth of Knott's Halloween Haunt, now Knott's Scary Farm, yes. To learn a little bit more about Larry Vincent and Seymour, it's our absolute honor and pleasure to introduce to you Larry Vincent's daughters. Please welcome Diane and Valerie Vincent. We're so happy that you're here.
We're so excited to be here. This is awesome.
Hey, for folks who never got a chance to see Seymour's TV shows, can you talk a little bit about what they were and what Seymour was as a character?
Well, you touched on it a little bit, but
Great intro. Well, the show itself, as Ted was saying, was kind of a comedic take on really lousy movies, scary sci-fi and horror movies, and it was Seymour's opportunity to do some shtick, before commercial, and sometimes actually during the movie, he would pop up in the corner and make a joke, and I think that kind of gave birth to that later show,
Mystery Science
Theater.
So he'd turn the sound off and interject himself and put in his own jokes, and he picked the worst films of the lot, Attack of the Mushroom People, Leech Woman, The Mummy's Tomb, Teenagers from Outer Space. Just pick the worst of the worst, and the worse they were, the better, and he would just with shtick. And Seymour was described as a cross between Dracula and Groucho Marx.
Love it.
Because he had the macabre thing going, And by the way, the gauntness, that was all Dad's face. No makeup. He had a very
he looked like nobody else.
Distinctive face. The sunken cheeks worked perfectly for his character.
What was it like for you to see your dad performing as this character, like at the parades, and see him interact with his various fans?
It was kind of surreal in a way, and because it was just our dad at work, basically. And I think seeing him with fans, it really kind of sunk in that he was a celebrity, and that kind of hit home. Like it was just kind of surreal, but on the other hand, it was just like sort of our dad going to work.
Yeah, going to work, and we grew up with him as a performer and an actor, and he had a show in Indianapolis, a children's. He hosted Three Stooges cartoons. We had another character called Captain Star. So we grew up with him as an actor, and the celebrity part of it.
The purposes for Knott's Scary Farm, there's the handful of Knott's Berry Farm photos, the promotional photos he took that first year. But I've been involved with this event for a long time. Ken, John, you've been involved for a long time. None of us on this stage ever seen any video footage of Seymour performing at Knott's Scary Farm. Until now. Until now. Listen. Huge shout out to a wonderful Knott's Berry Farm employee named Rob Perez, who uncovered this incredible gem. And as well as Jason Soyster at Cedar Fair and the wonderful folks at the Knott's Berry Farm Marketing Department digitized and preserved, so that way we could share it and debut it all to you right now here at Midsummer Screen. So we're going to dive right into it. You'll see, I'll tell you right now, this is by far the rarest Knott's Scary Farm video footage I've ever seen in my life. It's not a long clip, it's short, the quality's not the greatest, but it's what we've got. And you'll see it's not just Seymour. This is year 2, 1974 Seymour at Knott's Scary Farm.
Indeed we do. Just a minute, excuse me. Morning, Mr. Seymour. Yes, what is it? Mr. Seymour, master of the macabre, etc. That's right, no autographs, please. I'm trying to do a show out here of sorts. Well, I've got a delivery for you. Oh, really? Yeah, the folks at Knott's Berry Farm want to show their appreciation to you for coming back to the John Wayne Theater this year. So I sent over one of their famous chicken dinners. Isn't that nice? Let me have that. Well, that's beautiful. A little chicken dinner from Knott's Berry Farm. That? If there's any way we can kill 10 minutes, it's Chuck Jones, ladies and gentlemen. Let's hear it for Chuck Jones. Take it away, Chuck.
I believe she's beginning to speak. Wait a minute. Wait, she's starting to move about. I'm afraid that the tranquilizer was not enough. Quickly, one more dose. There, now, that didn't hurt a bit. But give me just one more chance.
But we were kind of looking at trying to do something that had a little more narrative cohesion, because when you have parts of past attractions all jammed together in one location with themes that don't really have to do with each other, well, we needed to find a way to pull that together. So John, Ken, and I, as we were kind of developing this, thought, well, what if we had some sort of host who could help pull that together, who could inform the guests as to what they're seeing when they're going through this thing. That way, for people who never went through the original attractions, well, now they're at least informed. And so we kind of like that idea. We certainly appreciate the important symbolism between Seymour and the birth of Knott's Scary Farm, but in talking with Diane and Valerie, I mean, none of us on this stage were interested in recasting, because there's never going to be another Larry Vincent Seymour. But we thought, well, since this attraction is about tributes in general, we we thought, well, what if we created our own tribute to Seymour as a new character inspired by Seymour who could stand on its own as a creepy, scary icon that would read to a modern audience who has no idea who Seymour was. But if you know who Seymour is, you would see that connection. And so what if we leaned more toward the sinister side of Seymour, more toward the macabre side of Seymour? And well, what we came up with for this host is a new character we have named the Keeper. Oh! Yes. And the Keeper watches over the past haunts of Knott's Scary Farm, keeps them locked up and stored away within the confines of what this attraction is. You'll find out about that attraction later on, but for now, with a few very important words, it's our pleasure to introduce to you, for the first time ever, live and in person, the Keeper.
Hiya, friendies. I'm here to tell you about a spine-tingling event at Knott's Farm, Thursday, August 24th. That's right. This opportunity gives you a sneak peek at the horror that waits for you at the 50th anniversary of Knott's Scary Farm. New blood-curdling mazes, sinister scare zones, and ghoulish shows here for you that night. And listen here, friendies. Tickets go on sale. Wait for it. Wait for it. Monday morning at 10 a.m. exclusively at Knotts.com. Of course. But listen, I know you Scary Farm fanatics like a little trick or treat, don't you? What do you think if I have a sneak peek for you of the 50th anniversary of Knott's Scary Farm? Shall we peel back the veil, unearth some footage, maybe even creak open a casket door? Shall we? Then maestro, if you please.
Well, we're celebrating 50 years of never-ending nightmares. And not with a slice of cake, no! With 10 frightening mazes, 5 sinister scare zones, 4 hair-raising shows, plus so much more that we're dying to tell you about. Why don't you join us for a kick-off announcement event celebration by Little Creepies on Thursday, August 24th at 7 p.m. to learn all about what is waiting for you here in the fog at Knott's Scary Farm. Purchase your tickets starting on Monday, July 31st at 10 a.m. Have you reserved your nightmares yet? Nightly event tickets and packages are available now at NotScaryFarm.com.
What do you think about that, you groovy ghoulies? For now, head over to the Midsummer Street Knott's Scary Farm booth for an unfriendly meet and greet with me and some of my rotten fiends. We're dying to meet you, fringies. Until then, good riddance and bad night.
Okay, so guys, we're back in the office. Yeah, it looks like I'm going to Knott's Scary Farm this year. I've never been. It's always happened right after HHN. It just didn't make sense with the flights. But after this panel, it's like, I gotta go this year. I gotta experience it. It was really cool kind of seeing the history, right? I'm very fascinated with like the history of haunts and everything, and just to see that everything came from Knott's, right? And then from Seymour, and just how they've created the new icon. I just cannot wait, and the merchandise looks amazing. They also announced this other really cool thing. It's like this interactive lantern. The interactive lantern is gonna have over 50 interaction experiences mazes. Unlock access to over 50 unique, spine-tingling, interactive experiences scattered throughout Knott's Scary Farm. Mazes and scare zones, navigate your way through a variety of haunting mazes and engaging scare zones under the spectral glow of your lantern. Each lantern comes with a ghostly map marking the interaction points throughout Knott's Scary Farm where the lantern can awaken the spirits. Now this is a lot kind of like the Magic Band, right? It's supposed to interact with the world around you. I'm sure it's going to work a lot better than the Magic Band because the Magic Band didn't work, but the lantern sounds like it's going to set off different things and change lights, and I cannot wait to see it in person. So guys, let me know down in the comments, have you ever been to Knott's Scary Farm? What should I be expecting this year? I'm just like kind of overwhelmed with all the different offerings that they have. Now they didn't announce any houses. They're going to be doing kind of another announcement event, I believe on August 24th. It's like a paid ticket event where you get to like go to the event where they announce everything and show off everything. So we'll have more information probably on August 25th for you guys in a video talking about everything that was announced. So guys, on that note, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button. If you have not already, hit the subscribe button, join the family.
Kevin, we love your channel.
Because I'm gonna keep you up to date on all things spooky and scary around the country. I love you all, and I'll see y'all tomorrow with a new HHN video.
One of those pins.
No.